What's going on, everyone? It's your favorite minority from the loud majority. Um, Back with another reaction video. Okay, I've been a little sick for the past week. This is why it's taking me so long. It's been a couple days since I put anything out new. I've been kind of just resharing old, like the last couple things that I've done to try to keep the algorithm, keep my things going on the algorithm and try to keep the content out there for you guys because I've been extremely sick. Not 100% yet, but I feel good enough to get back on camera and give you guys a reaction video. So this video is about actor Michael Rapaport. I don't know if you know who he is. He's been in a lot of movies. He's from New York. He was a super duper critic of Donald Trump, anti-Trump. I mean, you probably remember him from constantly getting on his Instagram page and calling Donald Trump Pig Dick Donald Trump. I think he said he kind of even maybe even patented the name, copywritten it. He was no fan of Trump. I mean, this guy hated Donald Trump. I mean, I don't know if he still hates him or not. Just some of the worst things you could say about somebody. Just put it like that. He just did not like Donald Trump. Didn't like any Trump supporters. I mean, everything that would come out of his mouth on his page was just straight up disrespect towards Trump and Trump supporters. Okay. And now, recently, he's been making the rounds claiming that voting for Pig Dick Donald Trump is on the table for him as he sits back and witnesses all this shit going on under Biden. The war in Israel, the conflict with Israel and God and the Palestinians. Um, I would, he's Jewish, so I I would assume that from him seeing the way that the left, the Democrat Party that he supports, the way some of the radical left has talked about this conflict and has been kind of anti-Israel is what's basically put the nail in the coffin for him to realize that the radical left is not the side that he wants to be on anymore. He's saying that voting for Trump is definitely on the table when he sees things like the economy, he sees the way police officers, he's from New York, so the way he sees police officers getting attacked in New York by illegal migrants. Um, I mean, kind of a shame that it took these things to happen for him to realize because it's frustrating for people like me who've been saying that these things would happen. I mean, we didn't say specifically that these specific things would happen, but I mean, we knew what would happen as soon as Trump left office and Biden got into office. We knew everything was just going to completely fall apart, exactly the way that it did. I mean, as far as foreign relations go, everything's a mess now. We're on the brink of having 3 wars started in 3 years. With Biden. Um, Biden gets on TV, doesn't know where he is half the time, or who he's talking to, or who he's even talking about. I mean, we saw the other day where he mentioned a French president that died years ago that he said he had just spoken with him a couple of days ago. I mean, I'm pretty sure you all saw the press conference that he just did too. I'll probably do a reaction video to that one next. But I want to get into this video so we can talk about, what he has to say about Trump. So let's take a listen.
Because you're.
I don't know if I could do
I'll
that.
tell you why.
Like, hang
I'll
on.
tell you, and by the way, you're talking to somebody that was probably closer to your camp in 2016
Like, he was
and
a
first
I
hated.
like,
I never said hate. I didn't like Trump, but also I never said the word hate. You can roll the tape.
Okay.
I didn't like a lot of things he did. A lot of things you highlighted. For me, there was the one that like I was like I can't do this was when he pretended like he didn't know who David Duke was. Everyone knows David Duke, leader of the KKK, is out there now, Louisiana. Okay, come on.
I mean, if he doesn't know listen, to say, oh, I don't know who that is. I mean, that could simply mean I don't know him personally. I mean, pretty sure he didn't mean that he doesn't know of him. Pretty sure what he meant was I don't know him personally. I mean, because at the time everybody swore up and down Trump was working for the KKK. So obviously people associated him with the KKK, and they would assume that he had a personal relationship with David Duke, who I would assume was the head of the KKK at the time. I'm guessing, or maybe he still is. I don't know. I don't really know too much history on that because I can give a fuck less. But yeah. I mean, to say I don't know someone, it doesn't mean, oh, I don't know, I've never heard of him. No, it could just mean I personally don't know him. The world would love to attach me to this group of people that I literally have no clue who they are.
Well, you're also a reasonable person, and you're also a dude. Like you're a dude, you like to play ball, you like hip hop, you like to talk shit. You're not a woke LGBT unicorn type kid. That's not you.
I mean, some of the shit he used to get on, I wouldn't say he's woke. I wouldn't say he pushes a lot of the woke agenda, but as far as radical left, he was very radical. I'm sorry. I mean, a lot of the things he would get on his Instagram and say about Trump supporters and Trump was kind of far out there. I mean, it was very, very disrespectful. It was very, very outlandish. It was very, very on the nose. He wasn't pulling back. He wasn't holding back. He would say a lot of pretty disrespectful things to people like me that he didn't realize he was talking to people like me because he, at the time, thought that everybody was just a race. Every Trump supporter was just a racist white person. Anyway.
That's not you. No. So you've seen what the left has produced over the last 4 years. Again, I'm telling you, somebody that's been in that camp. I'm a JFK Democrat. Why am I a JFK Democrat? Because my dad was a JFK Democrat. So that basically led to me like, oh, JFK is the man. He's a Democrat. That led to me liking Clinton. I like Clinton. All right, cool. You know, he's out there kissing babies. You know, getting blowjobs. I like that guy. I'm a charming guy. Charming. Well, you're better recently.
Are we talking about the same Bill Clinton? Are we talking about 26 trips to Kitty Rape Island? That Bill Clinton? Charming? I don't know if charming is the word that I would use to describe him. I'm not too sure who this guy is that's talking, but I kind of want him to hurry up and finish talking so we can get into Michael Rapaport's thoughts.
Son of a guy. His wife, that's a whole other conversation. But if you were looking at politics and you said you weren't paying attention to it, my senior year I worked in Tallahassee in Florida State where I went to school. I worked at the Capitol building. Mm-hmm. This was during the 2000 election, Gore versus Bush. I was a Clinton guy. I was rooting for Gore. What happened? I used to see Jeb Bush, George W. I was around this. Oh shit! We saw what happened during the Bush administration. The bookends of it. 9/11 and then the great financial meltdown. There was no way in a million years that old John McCain was going to win the election over cool Barack Obama. What would happen?
I mean, that makes sense.
So if you believe in the Obama doctrine, all right, be nice to each other, whatever. There's no way you were voting for Trump. It just wasn't in the cards. It wasn't happening. It was abrasive. It was racist. The media, yada yada yada.
Now I want to remind all my listeners, okay, at this time that he's speaking of, I was against Donald Trump as well. Okay. I think in the beginning, a lot of us that do what we do here now, like these, this whole thing that we do now, a lot of us were anti-Trump. Okay. We were kind of iffy. I mean, it was kind of, you gotta understand the media was laying it on us so thick and so adamantly. They were just hammering it every single day that, oh, Donald Trump's a dictator. He's going to put black people back on a slave plantation. And it was kind of scary. You know what I mean? At first, but then you grew up a little bit as time went on and you realized it was all just a big fucking joke.
And he was a joke. He is at New Yorkers. Like, he was like, he's a ball busting troll. Exactly. He's a shit. Here's why I think you're going to vote for him this time. Because you've seen what happened under his first term. You didn't like it. He's the pig dick, and he's got the tweet, and he's orange.
And he's orange.
There was no war.
And he's orange.
Good. But damn, he's annoying to look at. But you also can acknowledge that the media had a major role in a major role. Yeah, when you take a step back. Yes. You also acknowledge that. Because you've also acknowledged that, that one thing about the Charlottesville that I ranted about. Yes. And I was wrong. About the both sides thing. Yeah. Yeah, and there we go. See, he's admitting that he was wrong.
And a lot of people don't even know what that clip is, but if a lot of people still to this day don't know that there's more to that clip. Oh, there's good and bad on both sides. And people like, what do you mean? Well, if CNN didn't cut that part off and let the rest play, you would have heard the rest where he says, and I don't mean the KKK or the racist groups, because they should be condemned. Those were his words, his next words. But most mainstream media cut off the part right after where he says, there's good people on both sides. Cut. They ended it right there. So that way, every time anybody watched that clip, that's all they saw. They didn't see the part where he's right after where he says, and I don't mean the racists, because they should be condemned. Those were his next words. And this is Michael Rapaport acknowledging that he got played by the media like a lot of us did. So many of us did.
So responsible. And I respect the shit out of it.
Wait, let me hear him out. Go a little bit more. What do you mean by that? You were wrong on that.
No, because he said that the both sides, there's good people on both sides. And when you see the full quote, that wasn't what he said. And I ranted on him hard for that. Hard. There's some video about it, whatever. I ranted hard because I was like, what are you talking about, man? Because you got played. And here's what this is why I think you're going to vote for Trump. Is because you, much like me, much like many people, independent thinkers, not the sheep, realize we kind of got played a little bit. Yes, Trump ain't exactly the smoothest character. He's not Jesus Christ. No. But he actually,
nobody
his policies and who he has around him are way better than what's going on there. And here's my final point. You see what's going on with the border. You see what's going on with the wokeness. You see what's going on with culture wars. And you see what's going on with actual wars. Yeah. Specifically, you see who the Democrats have exposed their hand, especially the progressive left. You see what's going on between Israel and Gaza. You have 3 starved David highs on your chest right now. And someone who is a proud New Yorker your whole life, you see what the Democratic Party has turned into. This DEF.
Now, I'm not going to pretend to know the history on the conflict between Palestine and Gaza. And yes, I've laid out my thoughts on, on social media about how I feel about both of them. And honestly, my standpoint on that is we really shouldn't even be in the middle of it. That's just me. I'm just really ready to get back to our politicians and our government giving a flying F about us. Okay. It's not that I'm not sympathetic to what's going on to the innocent people, but as for my entire life, I could just think back to the fact that we've always been involved in some conflict overseas where all of our resources and money are sent there. And there's people here being neglected every single time something kicks off in another country. Okay. It's like our politicians and our elected officials just can't wait to abandon us for some foreign conflict thousands of miles away. And they can't help but toss all of our money over there to help protect those people, which I'm not saying those people don't need protecting, but our money should be used to protect us first. Okay? First. Always. And lately, it just doesn't feel like that's the case. It seems as if we're second-class citizens in our own country. Our government elected officials beg for our votes, get our votes, then look at us and tell us, you're not as important. These people thousands of miles away need my help first. Even though you voted for me and put me here, you're not that important right now. It keeps happening over and over again. And people wonder why people in America are so frustrated at this point. Because it's almost like no matter when you were born, it seems as if your entire life, our elected officials and our tax dollars are being pimped out and sent across seas to keep other people safe. They want to protect borders in other countries. They don't want to protect ours. They want to send money to protect the border in Ukraine. Meanwhile, look at our border, okay? Look at our border. Where's the money for that? Okay, they just proposed a bill. Oh, we proposed the bill. The Republicans don't want to sign it. The bill still allows 8,500 people to come through our border every day. That's not a good deal.
ESG, woke manifestation of ridiculousness, intersectionality, decolonialization. You're looking at that and you say, you know what? As much as I can't stand big dick Donald Trump, at least he's fucking normal. At least he doesn't want to turn my boy into a girl. At least he's normal. But yes, at least he doesn't want to turn my boy into a girl. Yeah. At least he's defending Israel, not the fucking terrorists. And at the end of the day, I'm a reasonable person. Yeah. So, like you said initially, I think I'm gonna consider this. Oh, I'm considering it.
Consider it.
Pull that. I don't know. We don't pull levers anymore. Yeah. Actually, pull that lever. Yeah, we're pulling the lever for Biden. And then I'm gonna tell you right now, I won't vote. I'm not voting for Biden. No, I'm not voting for Kamala. I'm not. You know, but then you can't talk shit, and you need to be able to talk.
Well, wait a minute. So you were saying, so for you,
I won't vote for them.
So no matter what, that decision is
that
final.
Ain't happening.
Okay.
No, I'm not. They're not happening. What? I'm not voting for Kamala. I'm not voting for anybody.
Well, but Mikey, what about anybody else? What about Michael? What about anybody?
What he's saying is,
There's nobody. I'm saying like Kennedy.
So listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is the sentiment of a lot of people on the left right now. Just because Joe Biden is doing horribly, don't be fooled into thinking that all these Democrats are just going to vote Trump. Okay? A lot of people are just deciding, you know what? I'm just not going to vote at all. Well, a lot of Democrat voters, which in turn still does help Donald Trump. Because even if those voters don't vote for Trump, they're not voting for Biden. So Biden loses voters regardless. Trump is not going to lose any voters. Okay? Trump is gaining votes. He's gaining voters. He's gaining support in the Black community. I think he had 12% in 2016 of the Black community. I think he had 16% in 2020. And he's on track to have more than 20% in 2024 of the Black community support for Trump. So he's just gaining support while Joe Biden is constantly losing it. Now, I'm not saying that every Democrat that is tired of Joe Biden and Kamala's bullshit is going to say, okay, I'm voting for Trump this time. A lot of them are just like, I'm just not voting at all. Let Trump win. I'm not going to vote for him, but let him have it. Because this ain't it. Whatever Biden has going on is just not it. See, the thing that kills me is though a lot of these people would even though they know they would prefer Trump presidency again, they still wouldn't vote for him because of what it would mean, what they think that it would mean to them and people that they know if they found out. And you know, a lot of people are still scared to be able to come out and say, well, I'm making the right decision, you know, and I'm not afraid to tell you that I'm making the best choice, you know, what's best for me and my family. Me personally, I don't care if you don't like who I'm voting for. I'm voting for Trump. I voted for him twice. I'm voting for him again. Actually, I'm sorry, I'm lying. I voted for him once. I'm voting for him again.
But if Newsom or one of these guys pop up, Gavin, I just left California. I'm not voting for Gavin with good hair. I love that. I love Gavin with the good hair. Just like Becky. Out of here. So here's my.
That's another one. The left thinks that they're going to prop up Gavin Newsom at the last minute. Gavin Newsom, the man that has turned California into a literal toilet. Okay? There's a poop map that you can literally look up. There's an app for it. Because, you know, in California, you're allowed to pretty much defecate anywhere. It's not against the law anymore. That's how they pretty much got rid of arresting people for it. Instead, they just said, I'll just let them do it. And now there's an app that can track where poop is all over the floor in certain areas of California. And if you open up the app and look at the map, it's literally just covered in brown. It's not even a joke. Gavin Newsom runs California. He's the governor. And people are talking about he could be a solid replacement for Joe Biden for the Democratic Party. Are you kidding me? The man who has literally turned California to shit? There's no way. This is why when people say, oh, it could be Gavin, it could be Gavin literally ran California into the ground. What is his track record? what is he going to stand on in a debate? Trump would literally demolish him in a debate. Okay, demolish him. I mean, the restrictions he put on people during COVID, the fact that he only got rid of the homeless, cleaned up the homeless problem when President Xi came into town, Chinese president. Didn't do it any time before when he could have, but he waited till this man came to town and then decided, let's clean up the streets. This guy is not a solid replacement for anybody, for no one. Okay? Gavin Newsom has no chance whatsoever.
So I'm not a sucker.
Yeah, you see how much they love him.
They love his ass. They like his hair. But go deeper. Why do you say you're not a sucker? What does that mean? Because I just moved out of Los Angeles. Okay. It's not happening, man. Explain that. For those of the people that have never lived in LA, why the hell, you've been there for 20 plus years. Why the hell did you move out? Well, I moved out because I wanted to go to New York. I didn't move out for any reason. I wanted to move back to New York full time. That's why I left. But just on top, the homelessness in New York, in Los Angeles and in California, San Diego, San Francisco. I could speak on those places.
That's Nancy Pelosi's district, San Francisco.
But particularly in Los Angeles, in the Los Angeles area is unacceptable. It's scary. It's I don't know how to fix it. It's unacceptable. It's not safe. It's not sanitary. I know California and Los Angeles is a driving city, but I do like to walk. When you walk, you shouldn't feel just uncomfortable by hordes and hordes and hordes of homeless people. It's not good for them. It ain't good for me. It's not good across the board. And the taxes suck. But the homelessness and how it went, down so bad, so quickly, and the crime. All that. Forget about the crime. Yeah. Let's not forget about the crime.
And so Mike, you said, I saw the video too, Pat played it the other day about.
And that's another thing. The crime issue in California is it's off the Richter scale. I mean, they don't even want to allow you to protect yourself. They don't want to pass any type of gun laws that actually help innocent, legal gun owners to protect themselves. It's running rampant in California. I mean, you can find videos all over Instagram of people literally just breaking and smashing into cars and robbing people and stealing people's belongings. It's like they jump in cars and they ride from car to car, breaking windows, jumping inside people's cars and snatching all their things out. People have been robbed for thousands of dollars of just things, equipment, clothing, merchandise, whatever. The stores in California, people are just running in there, snatching up everything, running out. I mean, that's a problem happening all over the country, in a lot of different places, not just California, but it is a big issue in California. So to say that this guy that is in charge of California, this state that is having all these problems, will be a good president of the United States of America, it's just flat out delusional to me. Anybody who thinks that is crazy.
That still voting for him is still on the table. We saw Adam mention what was the break? What was that moment, Mike? Was it the way that the administration treated the Palestine, Gaza, the terror, the hostages? Because Mike, real talk, let's be honest. If Trump was, first of all, none of that shit was happening at all when Trump was in. Everybody just. This motherfucker was shaking people's arms and ripping them off the socket. I think two things. A, it wouldn't have happened if it was under him. And number two, Mike, let's be real about that. Well, nobody did it in those 4 years. Yeah. Here's my thing.
That's very
if
true.
It did happen under Trump, and there was hostages, you don't think that guy would have gone in the next day, special forces, and just shot and killed Trump would not play this shit. Was it this thing, Mike, that made you go?
Israel pushed me over the top.
What was it, Mike? Like, please get it.
The good cop, bad cop shit.
Sorry.
Kamala and Joe Biden. Joe at first, what he said, it was good at first what he said, but I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was good.
Neither does he.
And it resonated with Israelis. But the good cop, bad cop between him and Kamala regarding this was not cool. And it's offensive.
It was very off message, okay? They were coming off so weak about this thing. There was no strength. They didn't give anybody a sense that they were going to go in and take care of this. That they were going to go in and do what needed to be done to save people, to end this conflict, no matter what, with an iron fist if you needed to. I mean, we're talking about people who were being attacked, savagely. I mean, it was atrocious, and their message was very off-putting. I mean, it didn't come off as strong. It didn't come off as, strong leadership. It was very weak. To this day, I don't understand how they got away with, not giving a more conjoined message between the two about how this was going to be handled and how. I mean, to be honest, Kamala Harris is like, it's almost like she's not even a part of this administration. We barely see her. It's almost as if on certain occasions they have it. Okay, we need her to say something for this, but nothing else. So for this particular issue, make sure you go record something so we can have something, recorded. That way we got a clip of her saying something about this. But for most things, they don't go to Kamala. They know nobody wants to hear from Kamala. They know nobody wants to hear the word salad. Right? But it just goes to show that a lot of people are starting to come around. Some people who we thought would never come around. I mean, I never thought in my life that Michael Rapaport would ever be sitting on Patrick Bet-David's podcast talking about how he's considering voting for Donald Trump. Never. I would have never guessed that in my life. You couldn't have. I didn't see it coming. I mean, you want to talk about a curveball being thrown, but this is what we're starting to see now. This is what people need to start to realize, okay? This is how bad it's getting, that even these very, very loud anti-Trumpers that were very disrespectful towards not only Trump, but Trump supporters, Trump's family, anything that had to do with Trump, they're coming around now. And they're realizing, wow, man, what we all knew. Things were better under Trump, man. We were safe. We felt safe. Even if it wasn't that where you live particularly was safer, you felt safer because you knew that you had a president that was fighting to make things safer in America, to make sure you have the right to protect yourself against criminals, right? Meanwhile, we have an administration now that wants to disarm everybody. They want to make sure you have no right to protect yourself. Meanwhile, absolutely doing nothing to stop these criminals from getting their hands on firearms. I mean, we're watching illegal migrants come in, get their hands on guns and shoot at tourists in the middle of Times Square in NYC. Doesn't instill a lot of confidence in this administration, to say the least. But that was a short reaction video. I'm gonna have some more coming. Make sure you guys hit the like button. I never even tell anybody to do that in these videos, but I'm gonna start. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. It's your favorite minority from the loud majority, Patriot position. It's your boy Lewis. You already know. Y'all have a good night.